I'm Jupiter Optimus Maximus, and I got a little bit of a show for you today. A dang good show. Okay, this is some information, quick topics. This video is directly in response to some guy who I guess wanted to challenge me and say that, what was his direct words? What sin did his God commit? Too easy. I listed 5 right off the top of my head. If anybody else has anything else that I missed or can think about that, based off the 10 Commandments that he gave, the Yahweh gave Moses on the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai. If anybody can list any other of the 5 that he failed that I did not mention here, go ahead and feel free to comment there in my comment section. But I'm going to list off at least 5 if I don't give a direct verse. I have a reference to a verse that you can also find just by Googling it or looking it up. Okay, let's go with the lies first. 1 Kings, chapter 22, verse 19 and 23, okay? That is where Yahweh sent the lying spirit onto Ahab, and I've been waiting to say this one for a while. I've been savoring this like a juicy warm steak. Oh man, because in the military they have a saying that goes, the brass, which is like a lieutenant, captain, the officer, the general officer's side, the brass. The brass orders the soldier to shoot that enemy that's engaging, that's a combatant. In the military, when they tell the men to engage in combat, they give the order. What happens? The soldier follows the order and does what he's told by his superior. Okay? In this case, this is what happened. The spirit listened to its superior. That lying spirit listened to Yahweh. Well, if the soldier pulls the trigger and does the deed, and let's just say that those targets that the captain ordered his soldiers to fire upon were actually friendlies, but were unmarked friendlies because they were doing a secret operation. Just for instance, let's just bear with me. So, friendly fire, blue on blue, okay, is what they'll call it. Blue on blue, friendly on friendly, okay, we get it. So, what? The captain is held in contempt and charged with, if anybody got seriously injured, you got to do a CASEVAC, you got to do an extraction mission, if somebody ended up deceased on the scene, there's punishment for that. Yes. So why wasn't that a punishment? The one who called the order to do something is just as guilty as the deed doer. Because that's, in the court of law today, that's called a mastermind. A mastermind, the one behind the scene that pulled the strings. The mastermind to the lie, that he accepted the lie, he accepted it, he knew it was going to happen, he was informed it was going to happen to his face, and what did he do? He condoned it. You condoned it, guess what? You owned it. He who condoned it, owned it. Thing holds true right there. That's a lie. He also told lies through his prophets. Yeah. Number 3. I guess you can't say that one either, so I'll just call it unliving or putting people in the dirt. That's easy enough. That's all throughout the Old Testament. Cold-blooded deeds. You know what I'm talking about. Noah's flood. Cold-blooded, just because he's angry. And if you do that, if you unalive somebody in cold blood because you're angry, guess what, boy? Shink, and you're gone for 25. Jericho, the house falling on people. Hello. Samson's 1,000 that he put down with the jawbone of a donkey. It said, and the Lord was with him, and he put down 1,000 men because he was angry? Really? He wasn't even at war. Samson had a gambling debt he owed to the king of Palestine at the time, and used that jawbone and asked his God to help him put down these Palestinians because he owed a great debt and he needed his God's help. The big M word you're not allowed to say here, okay? Cold-blooded serpent he is. His own son. The book of Isaiah prophesies the hanging of the death, whatever it is of Christ you want to call it. The crucifixion was predicted. And yes, that's cold-blooded. That's mastermind again. What father in their right mind would send their son to a unlawful and unrightful demise? And doesn't even get everything right about it. And that's not, last but not least, here right on my list for the cold-bloodedness, his snakehood, the son of Bathsheba. David sent the order for her original husband to be put in the dirt. David marries Bathsheba out of it. But when the priest goes to David and said, "You've been found out," what happens? David didn't get punished. But the child, what? The child 3 days out of the womb, what? Has to pass away because of the wrath of that cold-blooded jerk? Really? You want to ask me, what has this God done to deserve these names? What has Yahweh done that is so evil? And I'm just explaining how Yahweh, the Jewish God that you Christians adopted, how he's so evil. I'm telling you right here through scriptures and through references that you can find. Just a matter of perception. You want to look at it how I see it, or do you want to put your little cross goggles on here and say, "Ooh, nothing can be done wrong because I'm a bootlicker"? Really? Okay. And for the fifth one and my last one, like I did in my last video, proved that your God, Yahweh, is an adulterer. And I'll give you the scripture and verse again for that, because not too many know it. I may probably say about 5% of the entire Christian world knows it. And they don't like mentioning it. They'll just tell you that she was a virgin and she gave birth to Christ. Well, what they won't want to tell you is that Gabriel came to her and told her that the Holy Spirit is going to be thrusted upon you. And it says that she accepted. I mean, come on, man. An angel goes to a poor woman like that and tells her what's going to happen, and she's supposed to say, okay?